Hi guys, my name is Kay from Chaos Reptiles, and I thought I would do a reptile room tour for my first video on YouTube. This is my main reptile room where the bulk of my reptiles are. I also have some in my living room and some in my bedroom. I have over 20 reptiles and I will show you guys those reptiles today. Starting off strong, these are some bugs that I found in one of my enclosures forever ago. I thought they were cool and cute, so I put them in a non-airtight jar with some carrots. I don't know what type of beetles these are, but if you guys do know, let me know. They look to me like mealworm beetles, but a lot bigger. I also have my two other jars, which were failed moss jars. I don't know why they failed, but that's okay. And right over here, we have my reptile and amphibian and invertebrate books. I have a very small collection going on, and I think they're pretty cool. I would check all these books out, would recommend. This is the first enclosure we'll be looking at. It's from custom reptile habitats that I modified by drilling ventilation holes into the top of, and it is for my juvenile gargoyle gecko named Slinky. I do not know the exact dimensions of this enclosure, but it's around 18 by 18 by 24, a little bit smaller. And I'll insert the video of Slinky at the end, but you can see her tail right here. She's a very pretty gecko. I really enjoy keeping her, and she has some very nice red stripes. This next enclosure is for my juvenile crested gecko, whose name is Tomoe. This is an 18 by 18 by 18, seeing as he's still a baby. This plant unfortunately did die, and I haven't taken it out yet because I keep trying to revive it. But I have some umbrella plants in here. That's his favorite pooping spot, which is always a little bit dirty, but I do clean it regularly. And he's also hiding, but I'll insert a photo of him at the end. He likes to step in his food and walk all over his ledge. And this is him. He's a very pretty crested gecko from Josh's Frogs. And moving on to our second enclosure, this is my baby corn snake Star-Lord's enclosure. Star-Lord is still a baby, but he's in a 4x2x2 that he cannot escape from. Some of his favorite places are on top of the net, in this plant right here, and in the moss ball he has on the left side of his enclosure. He really likes to climb, so in the upcoming year I'd like to add a lot more branches, especially like horizontal but off the ground. I think he would really enjoy that. I really like that plant that was just shown, however it is dying a little bit, and I definitely need to add more clutter on the hot side, which is being pictured right here. But like I said, he really does enjoy his moss ball, and I named him Star-Lord because the head stamp on his head is actually the shape of a star. I don't know how well you can tell in this photo, but it's very cute. And our next enclosure is my yellow-throated plated lizard enclosure. I know the water's dirty, I apologize for that. But this is Cleo's enclosure. She's a Gyrosaurus flavigularis, or, like I said, yellow-throated plated lizard. I did the custom background for this enclosure that I might redo in the future because it is starting to peel off since I didn't use silicone to adhere it to the background. That's Cleo. She is super cool. I give her some mealworms, so this is her chewing them. She's one of my most interactive animals, and I really like feeding her, sticking my hand in the enclosure, and just generally interacting with her. Coming up next is my Uromastix's enclosure, Rex. This enclosure is a work in progress. Rex is a rescue. He is around 9 years old right now and wasn't kept very good for the first 9 years of his life. I got him this year, or first 8 years of his life. But now he is living in this 4x2x2 from Dubia.com. The last two enclosures were also from Dubia.com. He gets the yummy salads, and I'm working on this enclosure as I said. You can kind of see him in the back there. He is a Nigerian Uromastix, and he sometimes experiences shedding issues. Our next enclosure is my leopard gecko Oliver's enclosure. I recently redid this enclosure. If you follow my TikTok, you saw me redo it. The backgrounds are from Reptile, and his enclosure is pretty simplistic because he's also a rescue. Oliver had severe NBD and lost all his toenails and broke his jaw because of improper care and the NBD previously stated. He's doing very good now. He loves his food. His jaw is fully healed, but I still keep him in a setup with less height. This is a video before I added in the background. He's a cutie. I really like to play the lizards, so this next enclosure is for another Gyrosauridae species. This is for my western girdled lizard, Zircon. I did this background myself. I am not very happy with how it turned out, but I will be adding on to it more and more later. I do really like this ledge that I have in here. Zircon really likes it as well. He likes to bask on top of it and then hide underneath it when I walk in the room. He's very skittish, but he's still such a cool animal. I feel so privileged to be able to keep him. The plants in here are not doing very good. I need to take them out and possibly replace them, probably with fake plants. And he was in this water dish earlier today. This is a hide that I made a while ago. I never painted the inside because I got lazy. But yeah, Zircon is an absolutely beautiful lizard. He has a very reddish throat, as you can see here, and nice speckled back. He's very awesome. This is my crested gecko Camoplia's enclosure. It's an 18 by 18 by 24 inch enclosure. It's fully bioactive, as most of my enclosures are, and I have a nice leaf litter in the bottom. In this, I believe I have a mixture of powder blue and dwarf white isopods. Camoplia really likes his coconut hide, which I'm going to zoom in on in a second. He sleeps in there most of the time and spends the nights running around and eating crested gecko food and bugs. He's a Dalmatian morph, and he can be a little crazy at times, but I love him, and I'm glad he likes his enclosure. And this is one of my pairs of viper geckos. This is Tick and Tack, two of my viper geckos. That's Tick, my female viper gecko, and this enclosure is also one that I've recently redone. I got some more wood from outside when I was in the desert and sterilized it myself and put it in this enclosure. I really like this enclosure. I feel like it has a lot of good hiding spots, and it's been very successful in stimulating breeding. This is my second year breeding viper geckos, and I've been very successful so far. Here is the hide that they mostly hide their eggs in and lay their eggs in. Their water dish, which I generally keep low because they're not very good swimmers. And my second viper gecko enclosure is over here. This is my newer pair, Narancha and Trish. I'm also very happy with this enclosure. I'm a little worried about that large piece of coil wood on the right side, because I did have it in Take and Tack's enclosure and they ended up laying eggs in it, which were very hard to get out. However, I'm generally not too worried about it, and they seem to be thriving, which I'm very happy about. There's another one of those small enclosures in the back for them to lay eggs in. Here's me trying to get a good angle of it. And my viper geckos, I do feed a very varied diet from. I haven't gotten any eggs from these guys yet, but I really do hope to get some eggs from them this year, this upcoming breeding season, so wish me luck. And our next enclosure is for another Gyrosauridae or Zonosaurus species. This is for my Karsten's girdled lizard. Her name is Sephora. I don't honestly know why I named her that, but this is another hide I made, one that I had fully finished and painted that looks really nice, instead of the other two that didn't look so nice. I have some pieces of cork bark, some dead grasses. They were originally alive, but they ended up dying because I'm not sure why. I'm just not the best at keeping grasses. But she is such a pretty lizard. She usually hides under her water dish under there. You can kind of see her tail, but barely. She is super pretty, but I never handle her because she is not very handleable. Continuing the Gyrosaurus train of thought, this is one of my pseudo-included lizards enclosures. She is an adult female. Her name is Terry. I do not have a mate for her yet, but this is a 6x2x2. I'm honestly not happy with this enclosure. It's definitely going to be redone in the next upcoming months. I really like this large rock that I have, but other than that, I'm really just not very happy with this enclosure. So this is definitely something I'll be working on a lot. But Terry is definitely my most skittish pseudo-included lizard. I have 3. The other 2, the pair I have, will be shown next. But yes, this is Terry. She's definitely very cool, but very skittish. My other two Sudan-plated lizards I'm able to carry, take her around places with me, and honestly they do very well with handling, but Terry has not warmed up to me yet. That's another hide that I did not finish yet, but the next enclosure here I am very happy with. This is my pair of Sudan-plated lizards, one male and one female. The male's name is Raptor and the female's name is Dino. I have this hide that I made forever ago that is finished and painted. I have another hide over there. This has a platform in it that I foamed and put humid hides underneath. They really like the humid area. I have big water bowls in both of these enclosures because they do like to fully submerge themselves. And there is Dino, my female Sudan-plated lizard. She is the most calm. I'm able to hold her and hang out with her just fine. And on this enclosure, I also have some fun stickers, which I'll be showing you in a second. Project Herpetoculture from Pona 2024, Dubia.com, Morph Market US Arc, Apex Reptile, and of course Responsible Reptile keeping my 2024 membership. This is Bricks, my hognose, and his enclosure. This is a 36 by 18 by 18, or 18 by 12. I will be upgrading him to a 36 by 18 by 18 soon. He doesn't utilize much climbing space that I do have, but I do want him to have a better basking spot and have the option for more climbing, just because I think that's beneficial. This is my African black house snakes enclosure. His name is Crowley. I have one of those backgrounds, the printout backgrounds on the back of the enclosure, just to block off the back of it, so he feels a lot more secure. Crowley is also a rescue. He is super skittish and also pretty afraid of mice because he was fed live in the past and got bit up pretty bad. But he is an absolutely gorgeous snake. I don't really handle him often, but when I do, I get awesome photos like this because he's absolutely gorgeous. And this is a 4x2x2 for my adult sub-adult cron snake named Sunny. I really like the plants in here. I really like the setup in here. This is one of my favorite enclosures for sure. I've had this marble queen pothos for a very long time. It's been with him the whole time I've had it. He's my not oldest snake, but the snake I had the longest. I've had him for going on 6 years, I believe. I have wheatgrass seeds in this enclosure, which really are awesome. They've been sprouting up and they've just been really cool. There's also a spider web there, which I'm not sure where that came from, but that's okay. This is Sunny, and I have another photo of him here. He's an albino corn snake, and he is very pretty. This is my final crested gecko enclosure. This is for my rescue crested gecko, who is around 13 years old. His name is Sandy. He came with that name. I just added this coconut husk hide in for him, and I'm excited to see how he likes it. He does have a towel in there, as you could probably tell, and that is because he was kept with a towel in his old enclosure for the past 10 years, and he likes to hide under it. He's kind of a little bit of a crackhead, but I love him dearly. And next up is a temporary enclosure for my snake Ambrosia. Ambrosia is a super dwarf reticulated python. He is a very small baby, so he's very able to be kept in this comfortably. However, I will be ordering a 4x2x2 for him soon. And he is super pretty, and of course I'll be upgrading him as he grows out of that 4x2x2. Next up is this enclosure for my rehomed African egg-eating snake named Beans. He came with that name. A friend of mine had to rehome him, but he's in great health. He was kept very well. This is the same enclosure, same setup he was kept with at my friend's house. And yeah, he's very small. He's a baby. He's super cute, and I really like this enclosure. I'm also very happy with this enclosure, even though I didn't build it. This is him and his cute little face. And these are my bug setups, feeder bugs and isopods. I have this Dubia Roach bin, which is a colony that I just started. It's not doing too great yet. I had a colony, but it got moldy because I went out of town. But this colony, it's alright, it's doing okay, but I do need to jumpstart it a little bit. These are my superworms. As you can see, they already devoured all their apple except for the peel. These are my mealworms and the larvae. And then next is my mealworm beetle bin. I rotate the mealworm beetles and the mealworm larvae from their different bins so that the beetles don't eat the mealworm eggs, because they will do that. This is my first colony of isopods. These are the powder oranges that stay under the substrate almost all the time. This colony is going to get upgraded. This is a very bad setup. I'm not happy with this setup. This is my powder blues. This is what my setups usually look like. I have snake skin in there. I have 2 types of insect food, one from Rapashi, one from Arcadia, and I have moss, sphagnum moss, reindeer moss, and frog moss. These are the powder oranges. I think they're very cool looking. And this is my rubber ducky isopod setup. This is probably my favorite setup and the one I've had highest success with. They really like chewing away at these leaves that I sprinkle their food on, mostly Arcadia, Insect Pro. And yeah, they are absolutely adorable as well. Here's one of them who's on the log. Most of them stay underground except for at night, but he is so cute. Look at that face. And the last enclosure we'll be looking at is this 7 foot by 2.5 foot by 7 foot enclosure, which is absolutely the star of my reptile room. It has these handles and it has these lovely locks. And this is currently empty for the rest of the week, but on Saturday I'll be going to the Reptile Super Show and picking up 2 tiger rat steaks from Wellspring Herp and putting them in this enclosure. Let's do a rundown of this enclosure. I have a lot of parts of this enclosure I really like. It is a fully bioactive enclosure, and I'm just super happy with it. I just finished it recently, except I say finished, but we're never really done. I'm always upgrading. I have this heat bulb, which is on a thermostat, which has a heat cover on it. I have a fogger back there that I may never use, a mister installed as well. This is the thermostat probe, and the basking area, the main basking area with the sleigh. This lovely piece of wood with lots of holes in it that I absolutely love. I drilled it into the wall of the enclosure, and I really hope they like it, and they like the placement of it. I also have this very cool thermometer / hygrometer. I have a lot of fake plants in here just to add more clutter, but I also have some real plants like this pothos. Underneath the pothos is the water dish that is obviously empty right now because there's no animals. I have a lot of reindeer moss in here, or not reindeer moss, Spanish moss in here. I have this lovely plant from Lowe's that I just depotted and repotted with soil. I have this pothos, which is doing really well. I really like the way it hangs. And I have more Spanish moss, another platform up there that I will be putting a hide on for them to hide in. I have this giant moss ball, which I really like, and I hope they'll like as well. My other snake that I had in here before I moved him definitely liked that moss ball. I have this giant snake that my mom found for me on Facebook Marketplace that I again just repotted. And then I have this big piece of cork bark in the center that they can either bask on top of or go underneath. Now, I also think it's worth noting all my animals have UVB, proper diets, varied diets, and all that sort of good stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed my first video. Enjoy this clip of me petting Frankie. Check out my Instagram and TikTok, and have a lovely day.